Hello, I am Greg Brizendine. I am a facilitator and a professional coach for people who want to get better at people leadership and better at performance measurement. I think that learning from mistakes is one of the most powerful ways that we do learn. I'm going to tell you about 4 of the biggest blunders I have made as a people leader and what I learned from each one of them. All right, blunder number 2, I call this one speak up. How I knew something had gone wrong. It took me 6 weeks to appropriately deal with an underperforming employee. What I did to cause it, I failed to provide clear, unambiguous feedback. What I learned, be clear and be timely. No one wins when communication is vague and imprecise, especially regarding performance. All right, here's the story. Some years ago, I had an employee who, despite appearing incredibly busy, was failing to deliver results on his assigned projects. To everyone else, he seemed like a superstar, constantly in motion, scheduling meetings, sending out action items, making himself indispensable to other colleagues and leaders in the organization. But when it came to his own projects, progress was painfully slow, if not non-existent. As his supervisor, I started noticing the disconnect between his busy facade and his lack of tangible results. When we sat down to discuss his performance, however, my approach became part of the problem. Instead of clearly communicating my expectations and concerns, I fell into the trap of delivering partial messages. I would inquire about specific projects. I would get back vague responses about plans that never materialized. My assumption was that by repeatedly addressing the projects that he was missing deadlines on, he would understand the importance of prioritizing his tasks and make measurable progress. But my indirect approach only prolonged the problem. It wasn't until I reached a point of frustration that I made the gravity of the situation unmistakably clear to him. So I was frustrated, and that was what it took for me to be able to communicate clearly. I really vividly recall the surprise on his face when I told him that his job was on the line. In all our discussions about project status, it never occurred to him that his performance was being evaluated based on his ability to deliver results on the things he was assigned to do. Looking back, I would have saved us both a lot of time and frustration if I had been more direct from the start. Instead of beating around the bush, I should have clearly articulated my concerns about his performance and finished that sentence about missed deadlines and the potential impact of missed deadlines, and then also specifically where I needed him to make improvement. By failing to do that, I dragged something out that could have been resolved maybe even in a single meeting. Ultimately, the experience taught me the importance of clear and unambiguous communication and leadership. It was not enough to hint at my expectations or hope that he would read between the lines. Let me repeat that for folks in the back. It is not enough to give hints or believe that people will read between the lines. All right, here's your takeaway. I had plenty of opportunities to provide clarity, but I wanted to avoid an uncomfortable conversation. I questioned whether I had provided clear expectations in the first place, whether I wasn't being flexible enough, and whether I was holding this employee to an unreasonable standard. Don't do that. As a leader, be willing to have difficult conversations and provide honest feedback, even when it's uncomfortable. The discomfort will pass quickly, and then you can get to the real work. Oh, he might have said, I'm not delivering what you're expecting, and my job is in jeopardy? Cool. Here's what I'm going to do about that. All right. That was the takeaway. I thought, what was your takeaway? What do you take from this? Same as mine, something different? I'd love to hear about that.